Skallen. Skallen.
Hello, Scone.
Chili.
How are you, my friend?
I got the
TTS is making me giggle.
Skallen.
I mean, that's the only way that I know how to say things properly. Mr. Jinjee was stealing Krissy's spot. Yeah. We had to make him vacate the area. I got my own intro. Of course. How are you? How have you been? We have been a little, off the map.
We were in Moose Jaw.
Yeah, I had appointments and stuff. And then just changing of the medications, making me a little bit more drowsy. Yeah.
Also changing of the seasons.
It's the dawning of the age of autumn Aquarius. Yeah. All the leaves are falling.
All the leaves are brown.
They are.
And the sky is gray.
They are on the ground as well. I try my best to kind of pick up some, just to so it doesn't like create that weird gross layer between the ground and the snow.
There's a lot of snow mold last year.
Yeah, that kind of grossness. Leaves have gone to Browntown.
Good morning, Mark.
Well, hello, Mark. Where's the little boy?
He's sitting over in the corner. You have treats.
You have all the things you need, treats, cat boy.
You have fresh water. You have food.
It's good.
You don't have catnip, but I'm not giving you any of that right now.
It's good to see you bunch of fools. I'm just kidding. Yeah, we just we got to go into the grocery store a bit later and get a couple of things. And we're still under attack by moles.
Yeah, they're still digging up our driveway.
It seems like, so I don't fully understand, but they had the driveway, they made 3 holes. Mm-hmm. And then they went to the other side of the driveway and made like 4 holes.
I think they completely dug through.
You think those are like exit wounds? Like a bullet?
Like,
like a mole bullet?
Yeah.
So
I think they have a whole network of tunnels and caves underneath our driveway. And I think they chose it because it's a nice big thermal mound.
So we didn't. I've never heard of anyone having mole problems other than like skin cancer moles.
I am at the point where I will let their like skin melt with soap. And I feel so bad saying that. When we first heard that was a way you could kill moles was by putting like soap in the holes, and then the soap would like basically melt their skin. I was like, that is so cruel. I could never do that.
Yeah, so it's if you guys for those of you,
I'm at that point now where I'm like, yeah.
For those of you who don't know, if you mix 3 parts castor oil and 1 part dish soap, add 4 tablespoons to a gallon of water. Basically what it does, where was it? So where's the surfactant part?
They reproduce more than rabbits.
Jordan.
Evan, we need to get rid of these fucking moles.
Surfactant skin. How to get rid of ground moles. It contains biodegradable dirt surfactants.
Like I think when we go into town, sweetheart.
Yeah, this is what it does. So because dish soaps contain biodegradable surfactants, that help break down the surface tension of water, it allows it to penetrate deeper into the fur of the mole and begins dissolving its skin cells. We can't do that.
I feel so bad, but I want them gone.
The neighbor has like those bear traps. The neighbor
I just want them gone. It says it's a powerful and effective way to get rid of moles.
Well, I mean, yeah.
It says it's gentle on pets.
Gentle on pets.
You know what? It's like the fucking Wicked Witch of the West. If they die from contact with soap, they deserve to fucking die with contact with soap.
We can't do that. We can't, Mark, throw meat for the moles.
So one of the coyotes got killed on the highway the other day, which is kind of nice because
maybe the moles were like, hey, come over here.
Yeah, Carl seems a lot more confident in our yard since the coyote's dead.
Well, so we didn't really think about, like, we were confused how they got over here.
Yeah.
And it turns out because the people hadn't been maintaining the old
community
town hall or the old community hall, they were actually living in and amongst all the weeds.
Yeah.
So
and we noticed the other day because somebody went in and weed whacked all the weeds around, like there's kind of like this big stone like that has a little history blurb on it about the school out here.
Yeah.
And somebody went in there and weed whacked, and we noticed there's a shitload of molehills in there. I was like, this is how the moles got in our fucking driveway, is they moved down from our neighbor's yard to the fucking community hall that nobody takes care of to our fucking driveway.
Yeah, it made a lot of sense because we couldn't figure out why they would go from half a kilometer away, 500 yards or whatever, to here.
Yeah. They're like, how the hell does that happen?
And it makes a lot of sense now.
It makes so much sense now.
I guess we'll have to talk to the neighbor. The neighbor has these little bear trap ones that are a ring that you put in the hole, and so because they don't have ice, when they go to get out the hole, it goes.
But if they're reproducing every 4 weeks, that means there's like families of them in our driveway, and you're gonna like catching 2 at a time.
Should we start feeding Carl?
We need to soap up these fucking holes, babe.
Should we? We need soapy holes to get rid of the moles.
We need the soapiest fucking holes.
Maybe we should start feeding Carl over by the culvert, so at least when they come out at dawn and dusk, he'll be
No, it's
there.
too close to the highway. I don't want to risk feeding him over there.
I feel like if we pour soap down these holes, if we slather up
the
these holes, these soapy
Make them real
holes,
soapy?
I feel like something is going to judge us at the end of our lives. And be like, do you remember that time you poured soap down the mole hole knowing what it did? We'll be like, God damn it! We started 12 charities when we were in our 80s. They weren't very successful, but
we tried.
The mole thing, that's why I'm going to hell?
It's either that or kill them with fucking snap traps, which is better or which is worse.
Well, the snap trap would be instant.
But we need to eradicate these goddamn moles. They reproduce like every 4 weeks. They're worse than rabbits. The next thing you know,
that comes from scone.
Yeah. So next thing you know, they'll be further deeper into our yard, and then our house will be unstabilized.
Snapchats. It's a pickle.
It's a pickle. It's not a pickle. We just need to soap the holes.
Soaping holes doesn't fix all problems. However, actually, you know what? Most problems, soaping holes does fix.
It's true.
Tangent of good use for soap. Did you know when they move an RTM, a ready-to-move house, onto its pre-poured foundation, they put hands, bar of soap on the girders?
Oh, it just kind of helps
because it is the best kind of friction-free non-oil substance to use. I was fucking floored. I watched this $2 million crane truck dropping this house into the IFC, and before they go to slide it on, these 4 dudes grab Irish Spring and start going.
Sounds like a method that would have been used on the.
I was like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" They're like, "Oh, we use soap."
Sounds like a building method that would have been used on the Titan sub.
We've sealed everything with
soap.
Dawn dish soap. You guys, we're not gonna waste your time. We're going to go right into...
Am I the asshole?
Am I the ass?
If you want to answer whether or not we're assholes for contemplating killing moles with soap, you can let us know. But it's truly, the situation's dire.
Yeah.
They need to die.
Are we assholes for considering soapicide of the mole people?
Yeah.
In my eyes, as long as it doesn't prevent nature from using it, then it's not a real loss of life because it creates more life. Yeah, I guess. Do I understand that? I don't know.
Something will eat it?
Nature's cruel and it must be destroyed. If you don't prevent nature, nature will prevent you.
I must manipulate nature to my will. And that involves moles being dead.
I don't. The problem is when you Google them, they're kind of cute.
I know. But, they're destroying our yard in a quite serious way. And it's not just our yard, it's our driveway. My concern is one day we're driving up the driveway, and then, either side of the culvert fucking, crashes in, and then we're stuck on top of the culvert because it's this huge fucking, round piece of tube because they made us get the biggest culvert on the face of the planet. And then we'll be hung up on this metal piece of tube because, the moles will have, dug out all of the sand underneath our driveway, and it'll be, such a huge network of mole tunnels that it'll have no structural integrity to drive on top of it.
Well, you know what? Sometimes the moles just might tell us too fucking bad.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa. That's too damn bad.
And that's from the movie Holes, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So it makes sense. We need some mole poles to stick in the mole holes to just gently... We'll use the rake of destiny that has gently prodded many an animal to survival.
Gotta pay the troll toll.
Gotta pay the troll toll if you want to pay the troll. You guys can say hi to Jinjee too.
Hello.
Jinjee.
Hello.
Say hi. Say hi. Hi. I is a Jinjee.
Hello. Oh, you're so handsome.
Hi.
Oh, yes.
Handsome boy.
Handsome, handsome.
Tell everybody what your plans are for the day.
I saw this recipe.
I'm gonna sleep and lick my balls.
I saw this recipe on my Facebook the other day, which there's part of me that's like really intrigued by it, and then there's a part of me that's like maybe a little bit grossed out by it. And it's candy corn fudge, and apparently it tastes just like Butterfingers. So you take yourself some candy corn, you take yourself some white chocolate, you take yourself a can of sweetened condensed milk and some peanut butter, and you mix that and melt that all together on the stovetop, and then put it in a pan and let it cool. And you got yourself some candy corn fudge that apparently tastes like Butterfingers. And there's a part of me that I kind of want to try it.
Oh, cat butt.
But I also don't know if I want to try it. Don't bite me.
I'll see if I can. No. Bye, Gigi Cam.
When the nice thing about living in Moose Jaw is there's the Moose Jaw Chocolate Fudge Factory, and I used to work.
That's not what it's called.
No, it's not.
You know, it's also the Moose Jaw Fudge Factory sounds bad too. It's
just
the chocolate mousse, isn't that what it's called?
yeah. Yeah, it's just called
okay, so
it's called
here's
chocolate mousse.
on the radio the other day. I can't remember. I was the only one that could hear it. I think I was getting water. It was an advertisement for a towing company called Camel Towing.
Yeah, you enjoyed that way too much, the camel toe.
I was like, what?
So yeah, the chocolate, like, mousse fudge, whatever the fucking place is.
I think it's called the chocolate mousse.
The chocolate mousse, thank you. They make really good fudge and gelato, and you can get other candy there. If you're ever in Moose Jaw, definitely check it out and get some fudge. It's really good.
That's funny because chocolate mousse isn't actually what we meant, Scott. Like chocolate mousse is a thing.
Yeah, but like mousse.
When you type in chocolate mousse, the only thing that comes up is chocolate mousse.
You have to put chocolate mousse fudge factory.
Oh,
I told
is
you.
a fudge factory. I guess.
I knew it was a fudge factory.
I just
God, I
assumed
knew it.
people didn't say fudge factory. Yeah, so yeah, if you type in chocolate mousse, Scone is right. You do indeed get the fluffy mousse.
But if you type in chocolate mousse fudge factory,
chocolate mousse fudge factory, you can get yourself. I mean, look at that.
They make really good fudge. They do make, and I believe it's made in house.
That thing is significantly cuter.
I wonder how much fudge they pack every day.
This thing is significantly cuter than the one that chased me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Very scary. Oh, this is an IRL photo.
There you go.
Oddly enough, it is connected to
the tunnels.
To the tunnels.
So I actually used to work for the company that owned the building that the fudge factory was in, and then also like the tunnels. So part of my job was collecting rent from the people who owned the fudge factory, and then also collecting rent from the people who ran the tunnels. and that was always. Like I said, I ate a lot of fudge. So I was.
Did they pay in fudge?
No, they did not pay in fudge, but I was in there a lot. I also used to work at the tunnels as well. So I not the passage to fortune though, which was in the basement of that building. That's what starts down there. But I used to get a lot of treats from the fudge factory when I worked at the tunnels as well, because their cinnamon buns tasted weirdly like banana, but they were really good.
Banana cinnamon bun.
I think it's okay. So it was like they froze something that was banana flavored in the freezer beside these cinnamon buns, and imparted the flavor of
essence.
Like a banana had farted in the room in which this cinnamon bun was made, and it just had essence of banana. It was weird.
Banana bread
But they were
cinnamon
good.
buns might be good though.
Yeah.
I love cinnamon buns. I'm just like, if all of my medical problems, like if after a bunch of tests they're like, actually, you know what it is? Gluten. I'd be like, it sucks to be me, I guess, because I'm going to keep eating it. It's like the thing that my body survives on the most.
Oh, Mark, I made papanate the other day. They turned out really good.
Pfeffernussen? Hello, Saskatchewan.
Hey, episode.
Hopefully you're doing well, my boy. We're just about to load up an Am I the Asshole? Oop, what are you reaching
I
for?
want to grab the
Yeah,
papanate.
I'm from Saskatchewan.
Whoa.
What's up in Canada, eh?
It's a cookie.
It is a little cookie. They're little, also known as pfeffernuss
A
or
pfeffernussen.
peppernut. They are just a tiny little cookie.
Iron Maiden tonight. Nice. Run to
They're
the
really hard.
hills.
They're really hard, thus the nut part.
For your life.
And they're flavored with like peppermint, and various other spices. They're really good.
Run to... I'm just kidding. Thank you. See, that's how you get me to stop singing Iron Maiden. You put peppery nuts in my mouth. Okay. Mrs.
I
My
made
dear.
them extra peppery too, because I was feeling spicy, and I was like, you know,
You're gonna love my nuts.
I'm gonna add a lot more pepper than the recipe calls for. And they taste a little bit like Coca-Cola.
Oh, my balls!
So a bunch of my friends are out here for that. Oh, nice. Lake Louise. So the first one, did you want to read it or do you want me to read it?
You can read and I'll listen. I'm eating paper name.
Okay. Gather round. Let's get cozy here. Just kidding. Am I the asshole when my son came home from meeting his girlfriend's parents because he chose to behave like he does at home? So my son burps a lot while eating. I've tried telling him multiple times that it's rude. I've told him to slow down so he doesn't swallow air with his food. I've told him that it is disgusting. So first of all, his son eats like a duck, apparently. Like, just like who swallows air with their food? My burps generally come from drinking too much liquid while I eat. You know what I
Carbonated
mean?
beverages.
Yeah, something like that.
Kombucha burps are the best.
Or apparently, sometimes if it's a certain degree of spicy. My wife will instantly jump in to defend him. She will say, well, that's just the way he is, and it's not his fault. The thing is, he can control himself when I remind him. He just chooses not to. He just went on a date with his girlfriend last night, and she tore him a new asshole. It was his first time meeting her parents since they live in another city. They went out to a fancy restaurant, and he burped all the way through supper. He came home almost in tears from her chewing him out for behaving like a jackass in front of her family.
Especially in a fancy restaurant.
Oh, I heard him telling my wife about it, and I laughed. She asked what was so funny, and I reminded them both that I had tried dozens, if not hundreds of times to teach him table manners, and he rejected them, and she protected him. I said now that he's a grown man, and he had to learn the hard way. They both think she overreacted, and I'm the asshole for being amused by his experience.
No, I too would be amused by this experience. You have learned a valuable life lesson now, son. Don't be fucking gross when you go to fancy restaurants.
Yeah, it's not a tough one, really, because the only reason it would be tough is if, like, the kid had, like, GERD or, like, undiagnosed stomach problems.
Like, my grandma would get these weird hiccups sometimes after supper.
Hey,
and
Andre,
they'd, like,
good to
burp.
see ya.
People are talking about the kombucha a lot in chat because I mentioned it.
Oh.
I have to say, this is one thing I have learned in my brief period of time enjoying kombucha. Anything that's raspberry flavored fucking sucks because it tastes way too much
It's
like
too
apple cider
akin
vinegar.
to,
Yeah. Pineapple is usually good.
Yeah, think to yourself, if this flavor was more vinegary or had a touch of vinegar, would it amplify the
Yeah.
vinegar?
Would it make it better or worse?
Because I will say, what Krissy bought one that was a flavor that I didn't mind.
I think it was pineapple and something.
It did make my stomach feel good. It's like I don't know, natural carbonation. I read a long time ago when I was brewing beer from those packages or whatever, that a natural carbonation with yeast is it like a tighter concentration of bubbles, whereas like CO2 is like being injected is a larger carbonated bubble, so it feels smoother, and like the burps are like delayed burps, like a time bomb versus a
kombucha
grenade.
burp is so nice and smooth.
Yeah.
I love a good kombucha burp.
Yeah, like if you take a big swig of pop, you'll burp right away if you have to, right? It's like a grenade. And if you take a big sip of kombucha, it's like a little slowed grenade where it just a little bit. You know what's happening in like 5 weeks? Oh, what? Is that when it changes my biome? November. The irony is quite funny is that if she wasn't laughing, then it would mean that she has a bad sense of humor. Yeah, like, I guess it is nice that the mom, he isn't totally making him feel like a complete jackass, but if they didn't say the name of his son or the age of his son.
Well, they said he's an adult now.
So I assume that's 18 at least minimum.
At least 18, yeah.
I would say that this is just a classic case of another person who doesn't understand social etiquette. Like, you know what I mean? In a sense of like, I don't know, if you cough and sneeze in public, cover your mouth. If you have to burp.
It seems to me, though, that the father's been making an attempt over the course of his entire life to be teaching him social etiquette.
In a sense, yeah.
Like every time at the table, like, don't do that. Don't burp. Like, you can, it's okay here, but don't burp in, like, public, right?
Yeah. It'll come back and it'll get you.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, right, Dad. Who's going to care? Who's going to care about me burping all the time? I burp more than I fart, I will say. But what happens is I get like, for me, with all my pills and stuff, they feel like they're trapped, right? The burps. Yeah. But, you know, it happens. I would say...
my meat vessel makes a lot of gases.
I wasn't going to say anything. Jinjee's meat vessel is gas. Yeah. He is gas meat. I think, unfortunately, humans can be told a million times you shouldn't do that. You're going to wish that you didn't make that part of your habitual activity. That's a bad idea. But you don't find out until like it's an actual ramification. So he was told a million times. He was probably told when he was going to school, elementary school, high school, you know, every other thing. Don't you burp like a pig. And
or like if you really, really need to, like you're like, excuse me, and you like try to do it like this and like be like silent and like not rude and gross about it.
Like when you like kind of spread your cheeks so that your fart just goes instead of yo, Sheriff and Krissy, I'm going to Japan on Saturday.
Yay.
Well, konnichiwa, Faposaurus. That's crazy.
I've always wanted to go to Japan.
How long of a flight is that?
But
Sounds
now
like he wasn't polite about
I
that.
also probably have too much social anxiety to ever be around that many people. But as a child and like teenager, I really wanted to go.
Yeah.
Jinjee.
There's I mean, my cousins have been to Japan. I had a cousin that stayed there for, I can't remember how long, about a year, because it was part of the schooling that he was doing. And then his brothers went to go visit him, and they all have nothing but great stories about the time they had. It's just sounds like I don't know. It's 10-hour flight. You know, I was gonna say it just sounds like it's one of those places like, oh, I'd love to go to Australia, and they're like, yes, you'll be on a plane for 37 hours, and you're like, on Google Maps, maybe.
The cat is being a turd.
Jinjee, you little
Why don't
titty
you
wampus.
leave? Sometimes you're a little shit. Thank
What?
you.
Jinjee, you little titty wampus.
Sorry, my phone fell. Hey, little titty wampus.
And now that he's off my lap, I can get comfortable the way I desire to get comfortable.
I can be the comfort.
Yes. There we go.
Do you want... Here, you can scroll and find one that you think looks good. Spread the cheeks to fart. Oh, hoity-toity, we aristocrat we have here.
And you gotta...
What is it? It's like... Yeah, I mean... I honestly, the first time I heard that, I didn't know it was a thing.
About spreading the cheeks to fart.
Yeah, I was watching something on YouTube where the guy asked a porn star what happens if they have to fart, and that's what they said. You just have to spread your cheeks so it doesn't make sound. And I almost fucking died of laughter.
How did we... sorry to interrupt. How did we sort the stories? Because I noticed this one is like this we had before.
Scroll up a bit.
Yep.
Oh,
this
oh,
one.
I meant to go this week.
Let's change that.
Japan is one of my top dream visits. I really want to play pachinko and see some amazing nature and food, of course. Yeah, I'd like to see all their temples and structures. And I mean, I watched this thing the other day about they have underground bicycle storage in their sidewalks open up. I was like, what the fuck?
Sorry.
Let's go like this.
Okay.
Oh yes, here, let me just turn that gain down a little, and now give them your sultriness.
Am I the asshole for telling one of my daughter's classmates' moms to fuck off about what I put in my daughter's lunch? No names in this story are real. For some context before the story, I, 38 female, cook Asian foods regularly for dinner for my daughter. Lily is 7 female lunches at school. This is because my family enjoys these foods. I like to cook these foods, and my mom cooked a bunch of these foods growing up since she's half Japanese. Sometimes, honestly, the grammar in these is so confusing and weird.
It sounds like you don't know how to read.
Yeah.
Not you, but like me especially, because my brain gets like tick, tick,
Yeah,
tick, tick.
it's like
this is wrong. This sentence doesn't
The way
sound
you try
right.
to they try to knife in like 7 female into the sentence. I'm just like, I don't.
It's easier to read in
I swear
your
to
head.
fucking God, I have a university level reading comprehension. Like, okay. Anyways, oftentimes I'll either give my daughter some leftovers from last night's dinner, plus a fruit/veggie and a snack, or I'll make her a quick little bento box or some other things really quick. So after school one day, my daughter wanted to play on the playground for a bit before we went home. I said she could play for a few minutes, and she ran off to play. I was waiting next to this other parent, who we'll call Deborah. While I was waiting, Deborah came up to me. Deborah, are you Lily's mother? Me? Oh yeah, I am. Why? Deborah, well, your daughter's lunches have been bothering my son, and I would like to ask you to pack something else. Me, what? How are they bothering him? She then proceeded to start talking about her son, how her son was complaining about my daughter's lunches smelling terrible and that he thought it was disgusting. She also said her son didn't eat most of his lunch because he was so grossed out.
Oh God, this
Me.
is gonna get bad.
Okay, I understand your son doesn't like the smell, but can't he just sit somewhere else? Deborah, are you kidding me? My son shouldn't have to put up with whatever crap you are making your daughter and bring to school. It's disgusting. And she started making more vaguely racist complaints, but I was fed up at this point. Me, listen, I understand your son might not like my daughter's food, but he can very easily just not sit next to her. I'm not changing what's in my daughter's lunches because you and your kid don't want to exist near Asian food. Fuck off. She angrily stomped off with her kid then, and my daughter finished playing soon after, so we went home. I talked to my husband about it, and he said that maybe I shouldn't have told her to fuck off to avoid her bothering us in the future. Am I the asshole? No, I don't think so. Unless you're like, child is like microwaving fish fillets. That's gross. Just don't do that.
I mean, there are
That's
some
bad.
faux pas.
Like microwaving fish at work.
Yeah, that's true. That one's just universal.
Don't microwave fish.
Or like, you're not supposed, like if you work in like, say like construction, you're not supposed to bring like tuna sandwiches that get like warm.
But
I don't know.
She's a 7-year-old.
I did that last week at work. To assert dominance. I don't even like fish. I just microwave it at work.
I so often think about the one time I was like hanging out at Mom's apartment and you came over and decided you wanted food and you proceeded to like fry yourself up some eggs and canned tuna and made the entire apartment stink like a rotten fucking fart.
So,
it was like the grossest thing. You never did that at your house?
There was one place that I did live.
Yeah, I did.
The people across the hall from me, they did ferment kimchi a lot in their apartment. And when they opened the door, it was like getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
Because it is a fermented cabbage, you know what I mean? But
Kimchi is good though.
we grew up in the middle of fuck nowhere, and we even know you don't insult another person's food because it's not what you like, you know what I mean? And chances are you might like it if you tried it. And so
they're usually so fragrant because they taste good.
yeah, like the first thing you should be teaching your child in this instance is like, if you don't like what other people's food looks like, don't look at it.
Yeah.
If you don't like what it's, I mean, the only thing that we'll say is if it's like a ridiculous amount of smell, like, you know what I mean? Like if it's like a fart bomb and everyone in the class was like horking to death.
Mark said McKenna's old babysitter literally made kimchi by putting it in a plastic bag and burying it in the ground.
What is that?
That's how you traditionally...
Really?
Yeah, and also
I mean,
a lot of people usually have like their own kimchi fridges. So I worked very briefly with a lady from South Korea. And I remember asking her about kimchi because I had never tried it and I had really wanted to. And I had mentioned... Because I think you had kind of said something about that to me that in regards to McKenna's babysitter. So I think I asked her, like, do you have to like bury it in the ground to ferment it? And she's like, well, you can. Most people don't do that anymore because that's a really old school way of doing it. She's like, but most people will have like their own kimchi refrigerators where that refrigerator is
isolated.
Specifically only for putting kimchi in because it will stink like kimchi.
Yeah. I would say...
Oh, this lady was traditional as fuck. Okay, yeah.
It's kind of part of living around other humans. Yeah, it's kind of basically you should be prepping your child to live amongst other people, not trying to control other people. It's kind of like that thing where it's like your values restrict you from doing something, not me. Who's kimchi? Who's what is it? Jenny Talls. That was an old joke with Abby. Well said, Evan. Growing up in Victoria, Vancouver city areas, there's a lot of smells happening at lunchtime.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just like I don't particularly like eel and like raw salmon on my sushi.
Yeah.
But I don't restrict other people from getting it. I'll even take it off if I don't want to eat it.
Deborah, in this instance, is also acting like white food is the fucking pinnacle of cuisine when it's not. Having been in Army cadets, I was forced to eat a lot of like large prepared Army style food. And I'll tell you, to this day, I fucking despise Alfredo sauce. I can't.
Really?
I hate Alfredo sauce.
It.
Unless it's a homemade Alfredo sauce. Like, I made it first once. But, like, when your mom asked if we had, like, some canned Alfredo sauce on noodles, No, I can't. I just think of the fucking shit they served us in Army Cadets. God damn, that was like the worst fucking food ever.
Did it sound like I
So
did?
bad.
I really liked it. I used to get, well, when I played hockey, they always tried to enforce.
Oh, carb you up.
Yeah,
before-
like eat as much, carbs as possible. So I would get fettuccine Alfredo baked with cheese and eat it like a horse. Just
I guess it's like I said, my memories, I associate it with like Army Cadet Camp and like the terrible
freaking hate
foods.
tomatoes. Really, the smell of tomato soup makes you gag. Oh, really?
Horse
That sucks.
cocaine.
Those gone because tomatoes are like most of my favorite things involve tomato at some form, some place in the chain.
Like ketchup.
Pizza, spaghetti, spaghetti. A fucking spaghetti.
I make a really good gnocchi in tomato sauce.
So do you not eat spaghetti? You don't eat a spaghetti? Scone?
Well, maybe just, yeah.
Scone
Some
just
pepper nut got stuck in my
Scone
throat.
just eats
He makes
butter noodles.
spaghetti, but not with
Butter
tomato
noodles.
sauce.
A lot of people, some of the comments were kind of like, basically like call the school and start shit, and it's like, no,
No, I wouldn't do
like
that.
don't tell the school that her son can't be in the same classroom as your daughter. It's like, that's when shit gets
Yeah.
fucking
Unless like the
ridiculous.
mom like keeps getting more aggressive about it, I would leave it at that. Because sometimes that's all people need is to be told to fuck off, and then they like go and ruminate a little bit, and they're like, yeah, I wasn't an asshole in that situation. I did deserve to be told to fuck off.
This one can't be real. Super long too.
No.
Am I the asshole for giving my late husband's estate to a stranger instead of our kids?
Oh, this is too long.
Like, it can't be real. Would you go to Reddit to do that? I'm not reading the whole thing.
Especially like I don't. So sometimes when they're like too old, I'm just like, do you really use Reddit? You're a 55-year-old professional using Reddit. You
Yeah,
know?
I know. Tomatoes are everywhere, but as long as it's not having chunks. I've gotten more tomato in my older age than when I was younger. I used to think that tomatoes were just excess moisture on top of things I like. Like, oh, I like this burger. And I was like, might as well make it soggy and wet with a tomato. But now I know the intricacies of different tomatoes.
That quite
and
honestly,
the flesh to water
yeah.
ratio.
Oxheart tomatoes are the best if you want like a slice of tomato on your sandwich. And then when it comes to making sauce, you're gonna get those San Marzano. My dear sweet brother told me about that this summer, and that's what I realized. That's what I was growing in my garden, and I proceeded to. Oh, Mark, you would be so sad to see our neighbor's garden and all the San Marzano tomatoes,
Just like plants were.
just like overly ripe and going rotten on the ground, being eaten by moles.
It looks like
gophers.
plants full of Christmas lights. though,
Yeah.
Because there's green ones and yellow ones and red ones. I love the smell of uncut tomatoes do have a very
Or when you touch a tomato plant
Yeah.
and the smell on your fingers afterwards is
they
so
have
nice.
a very, very strong natural plant smell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Going along with plants, am I the asshole for taking potatoes off a guy's plate at a wedding? I just got back from my friend's wedding in Mexico. It was at a fancy all-inclusive. Everyone mostly did their own thing with a few group events planned, other than the wedding and the reception, obviously. One of the group activities was dinner out at one of the restaurants that required a reservation. It was beautiful and service was fantastic. One hiccup. The best man didn't want potatoes. He wasn't allergic. Potatoes did not take out his parents in a dark alley, and he wasn't sworn to avenge them, as far as I know anyways. I speak Spanish, and after he asked me, I asked the waiter to please not serve him potatoes. Well, you know where this is going. I only from the
He
title.
was maliciously served.
He was maliciously served potatoes, and he would not shut up about it. He pointed out to everyone at our table that he had been served a starchy tuber against his will. Other tables were watching him and listening to him getting upset about the potatoes. He ate the rest of his meal but would not drop the potatoes. I couldn't take it anymore.
Potatoes.
I reached over and grabbed the potatoes with my hand and put them on my plate and ate them. He sat there stunned. Then he got up and went to his suite. He avoided me the rest of the time there, but he made sure to tell everyone what an asshole I was and how unladylike my behavior was. And that actually adds an extra.
I didn't know that this was a lady. I would actually like to know if she was involved in the wedding at all.
I just wanted him to shut the fuck up about the potatoes. My friend wants me to apologize for the drama. Potato! So boil them, mash them, cook them in a stew. Just don't grab them with your hands.
No, it's so funny. You know, this guy can get fucked.
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
You, like, if
That's
you don't
hilarious.
like potatoes, just don't eat the fucking potatoes.
I was wondering if it was like a baked potato and they grabbed it with their fork, but the fact that it's a plate full of potatoes and they go and just like Shrek smash them on their plate and start eating them. Magnifique. I don't even speak Espanol. Holy crap, it's 11-2. I would have taken them potatoes. Potatoes are life. Honestly?
Yeah, I love potatoes.
Can I have the famous wiener in my...
Although it was kind of funny the other day. So our neighbor had given us this ridiculously large potato. Like it was huge. It looked kind of like a spaceship from
I think
Star
I'll put
Trek.
a picture on Discord.
Yeah, it was
literally like 5 potatoes stuck together.
It was very big. So as I was having a nap, Evan decided...
She looks younger today.
Oh, thank you. Evan decided that he was going to process this potato. And you did a great job. And then you also made some fries. But unfortunately, at the very last second, you oversalted the fries just a little bit.
I still ate them.
Yeah, you still ate them.
Each individual fry was very tasty. However, it was salty.
They were very
Where
salty.
did I put that?
I think it might have been in main chat.
Maybe I just didn't. Maybe
It was
I
just
didn't
such
even
an
send it.
impressive tuber. There
Oh
it
yeah,
is.
here it is.
The picture doesn't even do it justice. Philip, yes, there is a thing as overly salted fries.
Yeah, I mean, I ate them. They were good to me. They were very crisp and shattery. The trick is for those of you who make your own French fries. You have to try and get as much starch out of them as possible by soaking them, and then you fry them at a lower temperature, pull them out, raise it all up about another 50 degrees, and drop them back in.
I thought you wanted to introduce starch by like soaking them in like cornstarch.
Oh yeah, sorry, that's different. You want to get rid of the starch in the potato.
Okay.
But then, yes, one thing that we do only because of
A video
it's
we
not
watched.
embarrassing, is it?
Why? We watched a video on YouTube where they made fries, and we were like, "Oh, let's try that."
I thought it was because we went to that place in Alberta.
Oh no!
And we gave our compliments.
No,
to
yeah.
the
So we were at this restaurant in Alberta, and we ordered like something, and we got a side of fries, and the fries were really, really good. Like they were some of the best fries we've ever had. And so I asked her, we were like, "What kind of fries do you have? Because these are really good fries." And she was like, "Oh, I'll go ask in the kitchen." And then they disappear, and like there's nobody else in the restaurant, like it's just us. And then from the back of the kitchen, we just hear like laughing.
Yeah, like everyone in the kitchen is laughing.
Like the stupidest question has just ever been asked. And then like they come out still kind of like, you know, trying to hide their smirks, and they're like, they're just fries from a bag.
Yeah, they're like, we get them frozen.
Okay.
But it turns out they had like a coating
Yeah,
on
they were
them.
really good fries. I don't know.
And that coating is potato starch. But you can use cornstarch. So once you soak them and get the inner starch out of them, you can cornstarch on the outside, and then it adds to the crispness. So
they were really good fries. I wish I could remember the name of that restaurant. I wish I could remember where it was, but they had really good fries.
Holy shit.
And apparently that was a stupid thing to ask. But
What type of resolution did I take that picture at?
I don't know, your camera has this weird mode where it like kind of just AI blends everything as a way to like sharpen it.
So that's this is
It was
it
larger.
actually reminds me of like the Hive from Resident Evil.
Heis?
Yeah, these are words. These my fellow
I
scientists.
think I just spoke German.
Look at this is the Hive from looks just like that.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty much it. But yeah, definitely not an asshole for eating spud taters. Oh, I remember. Apologies for missing the end of stream last night. I was looking. Oh no, Miss Love got COVID. Did you get it from your trip to Italy and Greece?
Oh no.
Or just from
Yeah, I think they went to Italy and Greece.
regular, or
Just
South
regular
Sandwich Islands?
Yeah, or
Triple cooked fries?
People from Manchester.
Manchester. What man gave her Manchester COVID? Okay, I might go to the washroom.
Okay.
So this, do you see the cursor on the screen?
Uh-huh.
That's what you want to click right there.
Okay.
So once you find one you want to see.
When I find the one I want to read.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
She got it from our oldest son's girlfriend. Well, what are they doing making out? I'm just kidding. They went to Alton Towers, which is a theme park. I thought you guys only had Faulty Towers. That's a British show, isn't it? With the guy from Monty Python? Faulty Towers?
Yes, sorry. I wasn't exactly
Sorry.
paying attention. I apologize.
Oh, don't apologize, my beautiful wife. I'm going to use the rest facilities.
How long this one is. Ugh. TL.
But the person's name is Philip.
TLDR.
Is Philip a Philip? Is what that one was. I don't like theme parks. I get too many rides can make me sick. It's a dreary day out.
It's a dreary day. Oh, this one seems kind of up my alley because it's about disliking babies. All right. Am I the asshole for telling my friend her baby is the reason no one wants her around? Well, apparently right off the hop, people say not the asshole, so let's see, let's find out. Okay. One of my friends, female 24, Anna, female 24, had a baby around 6 months back. Our friend group is otherwise childless. All of us used to hang out a lot before the baby was born. Baby changed the dynamics because Anna wanted to bring the baby everywhere with her, and it's a baby. We tried to plan things around baby to include Anna, but it always ended up badly. We shouldn't drink because Anna can't drink. We shouldn't be loud because baby needs to sleep. Icing on the cake is that her baby is extremely fussy and cries all the time. It was just a downer for the rest of us. So we started hanging out without Anna and her baby. Last weekend, all of us went on a staycation. We had a great time and posted photos and videos on Instagram. Anna saw these and called me to ask why I did not ask her to come with. I tried telling her it was a last-minute plan and we could only find a child-free resort so as not to hurt her feelings. She called my bluff, sending me pics some random family had posted with kids at the resort. She kept forcing me, and I told her we did not want to hang out with her and her baby. She asked, how can I say that about her baby? I asked her to leave it at that, but she wouldn't. I finally told her it's a baby and we're all young. We want to live our life. We don't want to live our life around a baby she chose to have. That we get to do all adult stuff and party all we want. Her baby's the only reason she was invited. If she left the baby at home, she can come too. She got pissed off at me and called me an asshole. So she also sent a text in a group chat saying she's disappointed in all of us for excluding her just because she's a mom. Half of our friend group thinks I should not have told her the real reason and is mad at me. Other half thinks she's unreasonable. Am I the asshole for telling the truth? From comments, we have tried to communicate to her about adults only events before, other than openly saying saying don't come if you have to bring your baby. She refuses to leave baby with her boyfriend or babysitter. Even when we say an event is adults only, like dinner we had a few weeks ago, she still brought her baby. The baby cried throughout the night, earning us glares, and we had to leave early. I mean, I get it. It is kind of underhanded, and can feel shitty. I'm not a mom, so I can't I empathize from that point of view, but I can empathize from the point of view of just being mysteriously cut off from your friend group. And
Tell my
not
friend her baby's the reason no one wants her around.
So yeah, both sides are weird here. I get why them as 24-year-olds don't want to hang around with their friend and their baby. I totally get that, and I totally understand that. As a 36-year-old woman who doesn't want to hang around with people and their babies, totally fucking get that. But like I said, as someone who's also been mysteriously cut off from friend groups, I know how much that can suck if it's not just explained to you straight up.
Yeah, and I don't know.
But also at the same time, it does make you feel shitty that, just because you decided to become a mom, your friends are cutting you off. But also she does need to respect the fact that if they want to have, adult-only events, she shouldn't bring the baby, because obviously it's not appropriate, especially if they want to be drinking.
Sure. I was just getting Jason some Jinjee. How dare we not have Jinjee for Jason? Yeah, it's tough. I guess it depends. I don't know everything. But I'm especially contextless, but what I would say is that you might want to evaluate your friend situation.
You might have
the
to
only
find a new
reason
group
you
of
were
friends.
friends is because you went to the same bars and stuff like that.
Or high school together.
Yeah, if you can't drink, you can't be friends is kind of or something, you know what I mean? It's just one of those, I don't know, don't mom people make mom friends.
Yeah. She needs to learn to let someone else watch her baby, and they need to learn not to be sneaky weirdos. Absolutely.
Yeah, the one thing I'll say from what I've gathered from parents. Hey, Nate, good to see ya. Nate's there. What I've gathered from some parents is that the first one, they're a little bit like this, maybe, but the second kid, they're hi, stranger, will you watch my kids? When the second kid comes along, they realize they're not Fabergé eggs.
Yeah.
And, they're a little bit more willing to leave them with somebody. I would say if your friends don't want to hang out with your baby and you really want to hang out with your friends, let somebody else watch your baby. Or stay home and shut up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Don't be well, you guys you don't want me to come and ruin your time.
I also, I don't really have any friends that I hang out with, so that's also not an issue for me. My only friend that even kind of has a kid is, it's her husband's daughter from a previous marriage, and she's, 17 years old. So she's not a child. She's a child, but you can have an actual adult conversation with her,
Yeah, some of these are bad.
Yeah, sometimes you make a choice and you don't get everything you want.
Yeah. How are you doing, Nate? Also, this one. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter she's a disappointment? Am I the asshole for refusing to help my stepdaughter with her baby?
Well, you can see already if they're voted asshole or not the asshole.
I know. Am I an asshole for insinuating a woman is fat on their weekend because my oldest daughter... Sure, this person's an asshole. Let's read one where the community has deemed them an asshole. Just tuning in between meetings. Well, welcome into Radio Century Station 7. It's lovely to have you. Hope you're doing well, Nate. Well, Welcome to Sunday Smash Up with Jinjee's ear. Am I the asshole for not taking my youngest children on their weekend because my oldest daughter had a baby? Let's see what that means. So they were voted the a-hole. This is messy. I, 40-year-old male, have been married to my wife Cindy off and on.
Okay.
Is that how that works? I thought you were like married or divorced.
Maybe
separated.
they're married, but they like get back and they separate a lot. But either way, you're still married the entire time.
We had a child together who is now 17. We had a rocky part in our marriage and split for a few years where I met a woman named Stacy. We were together for a while, having twins together ages 12. Stacy and I split up because she ended up being unfaithful. 2 years later, I had reconciled with Cindy. We got my twins every weekend due to our work schedules. This past weekend, my oldest daughter went into early labor. It was also my weekend with the twins. I had told Stacy on the way to the hospital that I would not be able to have them this weekend due to this. I had put my phone on silent and away due to there being a lot going on. When I returned to my phone, I had a bunch of texts from Stacy saying how I needed to go home and be with my twins and how Cindy could handle the situation. I told her absolutely not, that I wasn't missing the birth of my grandchild. She then responded angrily saying how I was picking my oldest daughter over my youngest and how wrong it was since they can only see me on the weekends anyways. I tried texting and calling multiple times throughout the weekend, getting no response.
Yes, he is the asshole. You can take the twins with you. They'll technically be their cousins. They can, like, you know, and that's also their sister that's giving birth. Like they'll be auntie and uncle or whatever to the this child that's being born. So fucking pick up your kids and take them with you to the hospital. Also, it's your grandchild. Once again, I don't have a child. But if I were to have a child and I were to be having labor, I would never want my dad in the fucking room. You can wait in the fucking waiting room with everyone else, with the fucking twins.
So the other thing is too, though, is that like this person, the first comment says is like, you think that might be an extenuating circumstance, though. You know what I mean? He's not saying I don't want to see the twins. He's saying there's kind of a big event happening. I think it all depends on if the oldest daughter actually wanted him there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't know. Here's how I also think about it. Say the mother of the twins was not like another woman. It was the woman he's currently married to, who's also the mother of the oldest child. You're not gonna be able to like, they're gonna come with you to the fucking hospital, or like one of you's gonna stay at home with the kids anyway. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough looking at this. Like he said, the very first thing is it's messy.
Because it's just like I don't really care so much about the miracle of birth.
Yeah, but one person made a good point is that even though a lot of people do give birth, there can be extreme complications from it. Like it is technically a dangerous, scary, painful thing that someone's going through. So if they wanted their dad there, isn't it like, shouldn't you be like,
well, and where's her partner?
It all depends on what Stacy's plans are, in my opinion. If she has no plans but to eat, well, but then it's all about like she maybe her I'm not saying Stacy's plans are less important either, because I don't know what it's like to have kids or plan things. Like maybe they have something really big like planned because they didn't have the kids. So like truly our opinion on this is super uninformed because we don't have children. We don't have to deal with any sort of situation like this. So it's very much like an outsider perspective from our part, being like, just take your fucking kids with you. Yeah, I guess, you know, technically if what solves it is if the kids being of an age that they could, I don't know, you could probably just leave them in the waiting room at the hospital.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Like, I assume
hospitals are like in the
he
States.
is a grandfather, is probably going to be sitting in the waiting room anyway. I doubt he would be in the delivery room.
That's kind of what I was thinking
So,
too. I don't think they
You
just
take
let everyone
You
peep.
take your little kids with you. You pack them up a Game Boy or whatever, or with some fucking games, and you say, "Hey, this is where we're hanging out today while your older sister gives birth to your niece and or nephew."
Yeah, like there's a absolute ton of context that determines who is being nice or not nice. I would say technically the person who's in the riskiest situation is the person giving birth.
Yeah.
So I don't know, ask what they want. And in a sense of like, if they really think they can't go through it with their dad, maybe the person who was her stepmom at some point that Stacy would say, for her, I'll keep the kids tonight. But you have to get them in the morning at 6 or something. You know what I mean? Like, so it's tough. You want to say people work it together on it, but I mean, that's a fucking complicated situation, yo. All I'm thankful for is when Jinjee, fixed the problem for me and I didn't need to go to a doctor.
God, these things are so addictive.
Oh, my balls!
And like, there's not many left. Good thing I have more dough in the fridge that I can make later.
Asshole poo mode? What the hell does
I don't know what that means.
POO? I don't think it stands for poo mode. You want to get one more in there?
I just need to finish eating my pepper nuts.
Eat your peppery nuts! Fapster, how's Lake Louise treating you?
Pepper nuts.
Pepper nuts. You're gonna love my nuts.
So good. Nom, 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 nom.
Jason, how are you, Jason? Everybody, tell me how you are. Are you gonna read that poo mode one?
Yeah, I don't know what that means, so I don't know what poo mode means.
The very bottom one now.
Yeah, no, I just need to move the mouse there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is asshole poo mode.
Join, they're technically not nuts, they're little cookies, but
Yeah, they're little cookies that have a shatter like a nut.
yeah. So I just have pepper nut in my teeth.
You got nuts in your teeth.
Yeah. They're so tasty too. My mouth is kind of salivating. Sorry. Okay. My husband and I, 29 male, 27 male, went through the surrogacy process and had our son 4 months ago. We were thrilled when my sister, 31 female, announced her pregnancy, and we found out we would be having our children very near the same time. Our niece was born a little over 2 months after our son. My situation and my sister's closely mirror each other. Our husbands both work typical 9 to 5s with 30 to 45 minute commutes. My sister is a stay-at-home mom, and I do freelance work from home. For the first 2 weeks after our son was born, the first of which my husband took off work, we would both take partial night shifts. Once I felt I had at least some of my bearings on parenthood, I offered to take over completely on weeknights while he does mornings before work and on weekends. It's a collaborative process, and that breakdown of parenting just made sense to me. My husband was the only one leaving our home to work every day. He was the one who had to be up at a specific time and make a drive. At 4 months, we no longer have this obstacle anymore, and to be honest, I kind of miss the sweet, quiet bonding time those extra night feeds provided, now that he's settled into a nice sleep schedule and usually only wakes up once. Still, I think we get it down to almost the perfect science before we exited the newborn stage. My sister, on the other hand, is very much still in that phase and struggling. This has been a reoccurring problem for her from the very beginning. She's been coming to me saying she's scared she's going to fall asleep holding the baby, that her husband won't help her with the free feeds, etc. I tried to give her tips since I've been through it. I suggested she let her partner take over in the evenings, 6 to 9 p.m., so she can go to bed early and catch up on a few more hours, nap when baby naps, etc. She shot down everything, saying that wouldn't work for them and that she just needed her partner to do some of the night feedings. I reminded her that her husband is the one commuting in the mornings and falling asleep while driving was a real possibility, and that I have lived through it, and so could she. I then offered to watch her daughter for a few days so she could catch up on sleep. She took major offense to both of these things. She said I was belittling her experience and acting like I was a better parent. She said I couldn't truly empathize with her or give her valuable tips since she had been pregnant and I hadn't, and that me offering to watch my niece just felt like me saying she needed help raising her own daughter. My intentions were definitely not malicious, and I'd like some outside perspective here. Am I the asshole? Edit. I'm a man. Saw some people calling me a woman in the comments, just wanted to clarify. Small update here. But the TLDR of it all is that I have apologized because I was definitely the asshole for these comments, even if I didn't intend to be. My sister accepted said apology, and hopefully moving forward I can truly be the listening ear she needed and not someone who offers solutions that weren't asked for, especially when our circumstances aren't all that similar. My husband has clearly been taking on many more parenting duties than hers, and she and my niece both deserve better than that. Edit. Since POO mode has been activated, I can no longer comment without specifically messaging the mods to get them to approve said comment. I don't really feel like bothering them over and over again, so as much as I would like to continue engaging, I think I'll leave things here. I appreciate the feedback, though. Thanks for all the kind words and knowledge. Lots of you. Yeah. So, yeah, he's,
Eating a pie.
Yeah.
What kind of pie? That one's
a pork pie. That's a
I
British
don't know
thing.
what poo mode is, but it sounds like
poo
shit
mode
gets
is.
real in poo mode.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was going to say, when the person said that their situation is similar, I was going to say, well, I mean, there are differences.
I will say this is like kind of initially off the hop, and this is like one of the brief things I've noticed in a difference about the sexes over my 36 years of life. And, you know, this is a general observation. Take that as you will. But typically, sometimes I, as a lady, just like to talk about things that are bothering me. Complain about it a little bit. It doesn't mean it's an actionable item. Sometimes, in my experience, interacting with men, you complain about things and they interpret that complaint as something that is meant to be an actionable item and that you need to be offered guidance on. And I don't necessarily need guidance. I just want to be like, this is really fucking pissing me off. It's really shitty.
I guess I would say I can't speak for it being a gender more one.
I don't know if it's a gender thing, but that's genuinely been my experience with the genders.
Yeah. I guess it depends because like at work I worked with somebody who brought up
He's mansplaining motherhood to a woman.
Yeah,
somebody wrote in the comments.
I lost my train of thought. What were you saying? Sorry.
I was talking about actionable items.
Oh yeah, someone at
Philip
work
said,
would
"Yes,
always
Krissy."
bring up problems and never solutions, and we eventually told them, "Don't bring up a problem anymore unless you've thought about what could fix it." Yes, Krissy, I do that all the time. My brain is wired that way, but learning to support instead of trying to find a solution.
Yeah.
I always do that. My mind goes, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, it's like,
And
well, there's nothing for you to do. I just want to say that this is something that bothers me.
Yeah.
Nothing to be done about it. I just want to verbalize it.
Yeah, a lot of these people are basically saying, don't tell her how her marriage should be if she wants her husband to step up. And that's what I was gonna say was like,
Oh, wait, scroll down. What's poo? Proctologist only.
orifice. This is now a proctologist's only orifice.
I don't. You can click on that poo mode thing.
That's POO.
Yeah, but when
'Cause
a
it's am
post
I
is
the
in
asshole?
poo mode, click on it. And maybe it'll explain what it means more.
In poo mode? Oh, here. Starting this month, you might notice some posts being labeled poo mode, proctologists only orifices. This is a new flare we'll be applying to posts with a high volume of rule violating comments that will restrict participation to only trusted community members.
Oh.
So people were probably saying...
I'm wondering if because he was a gay man, people were probably being...
Yeah, maybe.
Rude.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, yeah, I guess people were being quite vulgar about that.
Yeah.
What I would say is to anybody before you have children, maybe get... something an alarm clock that goes off at random times that you can't turn off, and it turns off when it wants to.
Yeah.
So then you can understand the mild amounts of insanity that you will be forced to undergo for at least a year, 2, maybe 18. My attempts at offering suggestions are me trying to help, but yeah, sometimes, yeah, I wonder, yeah, I don't know what that is, but yeah, usually it's, I think
it's because maybe, and I don't know if this is still something that young girls do, but growing up in my generation, us girls would get together and we just have, bitch sessions about stuff. And you just have a good bitch session. Nothing comes out of it other than you're like, yeah, I'm pissed about this. This is stupid.
I guess it's kind of like... If the weather's bad and you complain about it, well, there's nothing that can be done. But if it's like, this stair is always... Let's just talk
about our feelings about why this is so fucking dumb.
The fact that this stair is always crooked pisses me off. I think some people's brain, like mine, goes, well, to straighten that out, I'd have to pour some more concrete and I'd have to fix... You know what I mean?
That's not at all what's going on. It's just... I need to talk about stupidness. I'm not angry about it anymore. I vent my feelings, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. That's all. You guys, don't forget, get your warm milk, put it in the cooker box, apply it to your meals. You'll be A-okay. Yeah, we're gonna run into town.
I still need a bit of milk, full fat, which I've warmed in the microwave.
The microwave.
Yeah, we got to run into town. My legs and hips are currently quite sore, so we'll do a little stretching before then. Anything you want to tell our lovely friendos?
We should go for a little walk first and see if they've scraped that coyote off the highway.
Yes, we think Carl and or the moles goaded a coyote into trying to cross the highway.
No, I just think the coyote is trying to cross the highway. And he got the smoosh. But it makes me, I have mixed feelings on it. So it makes me a little sad because the coyote's dead and it's a sad thing that it died. But I do think it was the coyote that was coming into our yard and stealing Carl's food dish.
Yeah, Carl is technically significantly safer.
With
said coyote getting the splat.
But because I've already partially anthropomorphized this coyote in my head as part of he's just part of the scene in these parts. It makes me a little sad to know that at least his death was quick. And Carl is safer.
I mean, definitely quicker than dish soap in a mole hole, which we'll debate off stream. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Jason, no worries at all. We know that you are indeed the Jason who loves Jinjee. We know this. It's a fact. Carl, stop being a bitch and get pet already. I agree. Mm-hmm. I agree. He's even gotten to it now where we think he knows. We think he knows there's a camera.
He looks at it.
Because he looks at it, and then we bring out food and he walks away because he's like, I'm going to go hunting, but I'd like to know that there's some food here for when I don't catch anything. Yeah. Because I'm not going to try that hard because I know there's food here.
Yeah. And because the coyote's dead now, so I don't care.
Fucker.
He's been around a lot, yesterday and today, since that coyote got schmooshed on the highway.
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys don't know, check out Jordan, who is Skaln on the YouTubes. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. It's always lovely to see you. Helps us get our day started right. Mucho gracias. Bonsoir.
Por favor.
Das Vidania.
Usted tiene la nariz grande.
Oh, we'll call time to leave, isn't it? Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.